Okay, so today we're going to learn how to create a basic Java project in Eclipse. So open Eclipse. The first thing you're going to see is probably the welcome screen. Uh, Feel free to close this. Um, the next thing is just go to the file menu and choose new and Java project. Now we have this dialog box that we need to fill in. The first thing we want to fill in is the project name, so let's call it HelloWorld. Everything else is fine, so you can just click finish. Now here on the right side you can see the Explorer. So if you click on this arrow, it will expand and show what we have for this project. The source directory is where we store our source files. And this is just some runtime libraries. In this class, we're not really going to look in that. For us, it will be important, this source project. This window here that you see is the editor. That is where we write our source code. So this is just a basic text editor that has some fancy features for coding, like highlighting syntax, auto-completion, and so on. So the first thing we want to do is create a Java file that is a source file where we're going to write our source code. To do that, again, you're going to go to the file menu, click on new, and choose class in this case. So we're actually creating a new class because Java is an object-oriented programming language, so everything is has to be put into a class. What we need to do here is just type in the name of the class. The name of the class, we'll call it again Hello World. And an important thing is you cannot have white spaces here, so if you try to do this, it will show you that type name is not valid. So no white spaces in the name of the class. And the usual convention for naming the classes is that every word begins with a capital letter. So you can see here that H has a capital letter, W is a capital letter. And that's pretty much all we have to do. And now just click finish. As you can see, now here on the left side in the Explorer, there is a file called helloworld.java. And here in the editor, that file is open, and here we can see that Eclipse already generated some code for us, and that is the code for the class. So what you can see here is public class hello world. So this is the name of the class, and then we have the opening and closing parentheses. That means this is the beginning of the class and this is the end of the class. Everything in between belongs to this class. The word public just means this is a public class. It can be accessed from outside. We're not really going to go in much details now. We're going to talk about what this modifier means later on when we're going to talk about classes and inheritance. The next is a keyword class, which tells the compiler that this is a class that we're declaring, and then the name of this class. And you can see that the name of the class has to be exactly the same as the name of the file, or the name of the file has to match the name of the class. Eclipse does this for us automatically. Whenever we create a new class, it creates a file with the exact same name as the class and the extension .java. Okay, so a class doesn't do much. We have to add some stuff in it. And the first and most important things we want to add is the main method. So the main method is a very special method and the most important method that we're going to learn, because this is where everything starts, everything begins. Every program has to have a main method, and that's where the execution of the program starts. There is a reason why it's called main method. That is a reserved word, and you can have only one main method. So how do we declare this? Again, we have public, static. Now, static is a modifier. We're not going to talk about it until later on in this class. Then we have void, which is the return type of the method, and in this case it means nothing. the main method doesn't return anything. Then we have the name of the method, which is main. Now we have some parameters for this method, or these are called command line arguments. And for now, we're not going to talk about them. We'll cover them a bit later in the class, but you have to know that this has to be here. So you have to have this string, square brackets, arcs, exactly the way I type them, and because Java is a case-sensitive language, so it is important that you match the cases. So for example, if you type in here a lowercase s, that will be an error, and immediately we can see that Eclipse complains there's something wrong. If you place the cursor over it, it will show that string cannot be resolved to a type. There are some issues, so always be careful with whether you use lowercase or uppercase. Now we need an opening curly bracket, and if you press enter, Eclipse will automatically generate the closing one. So now we have, this is the end of the method and this is the beginning of this method. What we want to do here is just print a simple message, and to do that we actually have to use a method from the system package out for output, because we'll be outputting to the user. The method we're using is called println, and this ln stands for line, so print line. It means that it will print the message that we pass to it and add and move the cursor to the next line. So the message we have to, because this is a string message, we have to put it in quotation marks. And you can type in here anything you want to. It has always been the tradition in programming. The first program you create is hello world, just printing out hello world to the user. And this is placed in opening and closing parentheses to indicate that this is an argument for the method println. And at the end we have a semicolon, and every statement in Java has to end with a semicolon. So that's pretty much it. That's all the code we have. So let's try and run this. There are different ways you can run it, like you can click, for example, here on this play button just to run the code. So let's try and do that. If you click on it, you will notice that here at the bottom in the terminal, it printed out the message hello world. And that's what we were trying to do with this simple program. Other ways to run your code is probably here in the menu. You can find run. If you want to, you can use shortcuts. They're always displayed here. Shortcuts are very useful things, so learn to use them. It will save you a lot of time. So that's it for our simple program for today. Thank you.